when it comes to Daytona now, and man, I mean, I'm going to get crucified by a lot of people for this. It doesn't, in my eyes, it doesn't mean the same now as it did.
Tony Stewart doesn't speak out often these days, but when he does, it's usually for a reason. And this time, his message to NASCAR wasn't just pointed, it was personal. What pushed one of NASCAR's most respected figures to openly criticize the sport? Why does he believe that racing is drifting dangerously far from its roots? And how did a single driver's historic ambition spark such a fierce reaction? In this video, we break down the moment Tony Stewart let loose. From controversial rule changes to widening rifts with fans, Stewart is raising alarms about the future of the sport. And once you hear what he had to say, it's hard not to wonder, is NASCAR losing the very identity that made it iconic? Let's take a closer look. Tony Stewart isn't just speaking as a former driver, he's been a champion, a team owner, and now a voice in the media. He knows how the sport works from every angle, and that's exactly what makes his recent comments so unsettling. During a guest appearance on the Rubbin' Is Racing podcast, Stewart didn't hold back. There's so many things and they've gone down a path for so long that they have created a monster that's put them in the box they're in, he said. There's still a ton of things every week to be excited about going to a NASCAR race. I didn't like NASCAR when I quit driving, and I started being in the broadcast booth. I'm still a fan of NASCAR, I still like to watch NASCAR races, but I also know the inner workings of it, and I know the hurdles and roadblocks that internally NASCAR has created for itself, and that's the part that pisses you off and frustrates you, knowing how much better it could be. His concern wasn't just about what's happening now, it was about how long the warning signs have been ignored. The trigger for Stewart's recent outburst? NASCAR's handling of Kyle Larson's ambitious plan to run both the Indy 500 and Coca-Cola 600 on the same day, a challenge only a few drivers have even attempted. Rather than promoting this rare crossover, NASCAR implemented rule adjustments that made the logistics more difficult. To Stewart, it was symbolic of a deeper problem. They're dividing themselves from the IndyCar fans, Stewart fumed. The dirt track community are all Kyle Larson fans, and every time NASCAR does this, more and more dirt track fans get pissed off. They don't have thick enough skin to listen to their own fans, their own competitors, to do the right things. Fans online echoed his frustration. Many saw Larson's double attempt as a perfect opportunity for NASCAR to spotlight its diversity and draw in new audiences. Instead, it became another example of missed momentum. Stewart's real message wasn't just about one driver or one decision, it was about a growing sense that NASCAR is losing touch with the fans who supported it from the start. For years, the heart of NASCAR was its connection to working-class fans, weekend warriors, and local track diehards. But lately, that connection feels strained. Stewart believes that some of NASCAR's recent choices have made the sport feel less accessible, less authentic. He's not alone. Longtime fans have voiced similar concerns on forums and social media, saying the sport feels overproduced or disconnected. Another hot-button topic, the Daytona 500. For decades, it's been NASCAR's season opener and most high-profile event. But Stewart has suggested it might be time to rethink its role. Has it become too predictable? Too commercial? Despite the criticism, NASCAR has no plans to change. According to Ben Kennedy, NASCAR's Chief Racing Innovation Officer, "We ran a survey a couple years ago, and it was over 95% of our fan base wants to see their first points race be the Daytona 500. That was a statistic that was strong enough for us to say we're not even going to explore that for now. We'll continue to have that exhibition race prior to it and plan to have Daytona 500 as a first points race." The data is convincing, but Stewart's question lingers. Is tradition alone enough to carry the weight of the sport's biggest event? Behind the scenes, tensions are growing. Several teams, including 23XI Racing, are now pushing back against NASCAR's current revenue-sharing model. Lawsuits have been filed, and the dispute is no longer just a quiet disagreement. It's a full-blown legal battle. These clashes hint at a deeper divide between NASCAR leadership and the people who make the sport run. Stewart, who once co-owned Stewart-Haas Racing, understands how vital team cooperation is for NASCAR's long-term health. If the rift widens, it could lead to major structural changes, or worse, a loss of trust among key stakeholders. Although Stewart has stepped away from day-to-day NASCAR ownership, he hasn't stepped away from racing. His recent success in NHRA Top Fuel has given him fresh perspective on how other motorsports engage their fans. It's clear he still cares deeply about NASCAR, but stepping outside that bubble has allowed him to see its flaws more clearly. From how events are promoted to how competitors are treated, Stewart believes there's plenty NASCAR could learn by looking beyond its own walls. Tony Stewart's critique isn't just a list of complaints, it's a call to action. At its best, NASCAR was a sport that brought communities together. It didn't matter if you were watching from a grandstand or a couch, you felt like part of something bigger. Stewart wants to see that spirit return. Whether or not NASCAR listens remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, when voices like Stewart start raising alarms, it's worth paying attention. Tony Stewart has never been known for playing it safe, and his recent comments aren't meant to stir drama, they're meant to spark reflection. If NASCAR wants to continue growing, it has to make sure it's not leaving its core fans behind. It has to find a balance between innovation and tradition, between spectacle and substance. Because if it doesn't, the real danger isn't bad press or falling ratings. It's that one day, the fans who built this sport might not recognize it anymore. Do you agree with Tony Stewart's take on where NASCAR is headed? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more racing deep dives, and hit the bell so you never miss a story that matters to fans like you.